Good morning. So I was just sitting here and I was thinking about that one time that I moved to Kodiak, Alaska from Los Angeles County, and I was a Valley girl, and I was there. I think it was my second day on the island, and I was out with a fire captain. We were on a quad and we were going to Saltry Cove because we were going to go fishing, and I was having a wonderful time. And as we were driving, I looked down on the ground and I saw poop, and I saw berries seeds in it, and I said, "Ooh, poop with berries in it." And my friend said, "That's bear poop." And then all of a sudden I smelled this smell. It smelled like a skunk. And I said, "It smells like a skunk." And my friend said, "We don't have skunk on the island. That's probably a bear off in the woods somewhere," or the brush, not the woods. And then all of a sudden I heard him say, "Whoa." And as I looked ahead of him, I saw what he was talking about. And it was a sow, which is a female bear, and her two cubs that were down on all fours. And then all of a sudden the cubs stood up and they noticed us and they wanted to come say hi. And I was like, don't do that. And then the mom got up and she wasn't happy either. And I remember my friend turned to me and he said, "Make yourself big, follow me." And we're waving our arms. "Whoa, mama, go, mama, go, mama." And what he was doing that I didn't know because I was so focused on her is that we were right at the base of a hill that we were getting ready to go up. And he was pushing her up the hill, and it was either up the hill or down the ravine or to go back up or to go up to the top of the hill. And at the top of the hill, there was a bunch of brush that he knew that she would run out into. So he was trying to push her up there, but she didn't want to go. And I remember he told me to get on top of the quad. And so I did. And I stood up there saying, "Whoa, mama, go, mama." And I could hear her. And I heard her snap her jaws, and she stood really, really, really tall. And I thought to myself, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to die." And I told Jesus, "If you get me out of this, I will never sin again. I promise." And then he said, "Get off the quad." And he started moving the quad and turning it around backwards. And I said, "What are you doing?" And all of a sudden he pulled out a 22 gun and he pointed it and he says, "If she charges, I'm shooting you in the leg and running." And I said, "What?" And he started laughing, laughing, laughing. And he said, "She's gone." And I looked and she was gone. She ran off into the brush. And so then I promptly began to dry heave because of all the adrenaline, and my life flashed before my eyes, and I was profusely grateful to God. I have sinned since. Sorry, I can't, I try to stop. I don't want to do it, and he helps me not do it, but that's my story of a Kodiak grizzly. It's my most reoccurring nightmare. I don't like bears. It traumatized me forever, and I think they're the largest bear in the world, the Kodiak grizzly bear. Yeah, I'm a 2%er. Clearly God can